What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It's a warm day here in Findlay, Ohio, and I'm getting ready to check out a new beer. Now, as it's a Wednesday, I'm going to do a special WTF Wednesday review. For those of you who may be new to the channel, WTF Wednesday is the one day a week when I showcase a beer I normally wouldn't on the program. Sometimes that means I do stuff from the big boys like Bud Miller and Coors. Sometimes I try interesting offerings from smaller breweries. And more recently, I've been trying to get my international passport stamps up and try them international beers. Now, the beer I have today comes from the second category. This is an interesting offering from a smaller brewery, and this beer is called Crushes All, and it's Amon Amarth inspired after the metal band. And this is by Rad Beer Company out of Anaheim, California. Now, what makes this beer so cool is this was available at the last Amon Amarth show at the Honda Center in Los Angeles, California. Now, the only reason that I got my hands on this is because the Yeti was working on that Amon Amarth tour and was at the stadium. So when I went and checked on Untappd, I had two friends that had this. One was the Ginger Yeti, and the other was Ted Lundstrom, the bass player from Amon Amarth. So pretty cool find. I think there was only 30 check-ins to this bad boy, and it did pretty well at a 4.07. On Untappd. On Beer Advocate, nothing, obviously, because if there's only 40 on Untappd, there's not going to be anything on Beer Advocate. Now, this is supposed to be a West Coast IPA, 7% ABV, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe this was only available at the Honda Stadium or Arena, whatever it is in Anaheim, where the Ducks play for this concert. Thus, probably the small sample size. Now, obviously, the artwork on the front is very cool. We got the Amon Amarth script and logo here, as well as their kind of artwork. And on the back, we have a little blurb. Crushes all West Coast IPA. This West Coast IPA crushes all other IPAs. It is brewed with a ton of Mosaic and the ever so tasty Citra hops. A very chill malt base provides the canvas to showcase these beautiful hops. Dry hop with Citra Cryo, Citra pellets, and Mosaic pellets. This beer is pure tropical fruit packed with huge citrus aromas. So this is one pint, 7% ABV, 60 IBUs, brewed and packaged by Rad Brew Co., 1301 South Lewis, Anaheim. Now, I am thrilled to have this. I don't pretend to be a great metal fan, but I do have a soft spot in my heart for Amon Amarth. A few years back, the Yeti was on tour with them and invited me out to Dark Lord Day at Three Floyds Brewing in Munster, Indiana. And I got to meet them, and I saw their show, and it was magnificent. You don't have to be, a huge fan of kind of Scandinavian Viking metal stuff to enjoy the show. The show was out of this world. The band members are really cool. After the show, we got to meet them backstage because Yeti was working the concert, and they were just the coolest cats I'd ever run into. I don't know whatever your vision of backstage is at big rock concerts, but it was, there was a little craziness, don't get me wrong, but it was somewhat normal. Like, we were just chatting about beer and life and things, and it was a really cool experience for me. I'm sure the Yeti does this all the time, but for me, to get a glimpse backstage was magnificent. So I thank him for that opportunity, and I thank the Ginger Yeti for getting me this beer. Now, I don't know if he just got this on his own or he got it through Ted or one of the other guys. I'm not sure. But shout out to the Yeti. Appreciate the beer, bro. 30 check-ins. He didn't have to bring this back. I saw him do a review, and I'll throw the little card up there so you can check out his review for a point of comparison. But I saw it and thought, awesome. I was thrilled he got to do it because he tours with the band. And when he bought one home, I was elated to be able to have this thing. All right, so first things first, color, Brew HQ. This is probably a deep cold color. Fair amount of carbonation there. You can see through it. It's pretty clear. I'm getting some fine bubbles up there. There wasn't a heck of a lot. Now, I don't think there was a date on this, but it was from wherever I guess you could look up a Amon Amarth tour in Anaheim during 23 or 24, and it's when he got it, but had not much to speak of, although it looks fairly carbonated, so it's not, I don't think it's bad or flat or anything like that, even though it may be a few months old. What else do we have in this stats-wise? 7% ABV, 60 IBUs, I think I mentioned that. 407 on Untappd. Beer Advocate, nada. Let's give it a sniff. I'm going to just smell it without snorting it this time. That's glorious. This smells fruity. It's not an overwhelming fruit smell, but it's like a nice fruity bouquet inviting, smells pretty good. Let's give it a shot. Cheers. Skål to my Viking brothers. Ooh, take a big first sip. First things first, body is all right. One of the things that I despise is a crap body. If you have a beer that's supposed to be a little more robust, a little more flavorful, a little fuller, and it comes through with that weak body, you lose me. Body on this is medium, and I think it's appropriate for the style. Now, this is supposed to be a regular, well, this is kind of interesting. I thought I saw, this says West Coast. I thought earlier I saw Pale Ale or something, whatever. If it's a Westie, it's pretty decent. You're getting the fruity tastes in there, the fruity smells. Body is pretty good. Now, I will say this. I think it said, very chill malt base provides a canvas to showcase the hops. I could get with that. The base beer, obviously, the malty base beer is just kind of like a nice middle-of-the-road bready malt. And then you add on to those kind of tropical fruit hop flavors, and it does its thing. Now, do I think this is a magnificent beer? Not really. What this is obviously a beer that's supposed to be something that showcases the band name, plays off that kind of stuff, and you want to just do something that's serviceable and decent. And I think they have done the job with this. Is this the finest Westie I've ever had? No. Is it good? 100%. This is a good beer. Like I said, you get those fruity notes coming through. And for the most part, I think it's just kind of like upfront tropical fruitiness. Kind of sweeter. Fades away to kind of more bitter. And maybe more like a citrusy, almost like an orange rind. Like, orange is probably a little more sweeter. Once you get to a rind bit, you get that pithy, little bit slightly more bitter flavors to it. I think that's what you get at the end. So up front, it's kind of like nice fruit, kind of fades away to a bit of bitterness, does the job. Decent body to it. Nothing offensive about this. Nothing bad about this beer. Now, again, is it spectacular, best beer in the world? No, wasn't designed to be. This is meant to showcase the band and be decent. They have achieved that in spades. This is exactly what it's supposed to be. So for me, crushes all, and I'll go with Amon Amarth crushes all. By Rad Beer Co. at Anaheim. You guys did a good job. The one thing I will say I appreciate about this is a lot of times I think when people do specialty beers, so it's either supposed to be for a sports team or a band or an event, they phone it in. I've had a lot of really shitty beers that were made and they're trying to sell you on the band name or the team logo or whatever it might be. And this isn't that. This is a good beer, plus you get the benefit of it's the tie into the brewery. So for me, crushes all, big thumbs up. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. And as always, you got any comments or questions, jump in down below. Are you one of the 30 people that had a Amon Amarth crushes all? Unless you were at the Honda Arena that evening, probably not. Have you had anything else from Rad Brewing? I don't think I've had any more beers from them, or Rad Beer Company, sorry. I don't think I've had any other beers from them. So if there's other good ones out there, let me know about them in the comments. Hey, till next time, Amon Amarth crushes all. Cheers.